Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jim and Frank's Thursday Throwdown.
Well, hey Jim, it's another Thursday Throwdown. How you doing?
Time to do it. Doing good. Doing good.
Excellent.
Ready to get into it.
What band and what records are we going to talk about?
Oh, we got some good heavy band. The Who.
Oh,
Doing Who's Next from 1971.
okay.
Who Are You? 1978.
Oh my. I tell you what,
One of those came out when we were in high school, and it was a big deal.
Who Are You was a huge record when it came out.
Yeah.
I think when I listen back, and I've got it on CD, and I think I had it on cassette for a minute, but I do have the LP. It's a 42-minute record. And
Yeah, a little longer.
yeah,
Longer songs.
but it's chock full of great tunes. Um,
Plenty
Glenn
of good stuff in
Johns
there.
helped
Yeah,
produce
Glenn
this.
Johns.
Always, man. He was with them for quite a bit. But when I think back on that record, of course, the title track, "Who Are You?"
Sure.
I remember, and I laugh thinking now of all the recent news about the Who and the miscommunication and the overplaying of the drums and all this, or the sloppiness, or there's been so many different stories now that have come out, and I don't want to get into that because that's not what this particular throwdown is
Before
about.
we move on to that, is he back in the band?
Apparently so.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it was
Pete.
a non-story.
Yeah, Pete ended up taking the blunt of the blame, saying
Okay.
they didn't have enough rehearsal time and the sound was bad, and Zach was doing a great job, maybe one or two songs, and Roger's old and cranky, and things happen. So, but for last I read, he's back in the band.
Okay. Well, good for him.
Yeah. But overplaying, Keith Moon is the epitome of overplaying, but as an art form.
Yes, that's a fact. Interestingly, so 1978, Who Are You comes out. The band was a mess at this point.
Right.
The last album they had was 1975. That was Who by Numbers.
I love that record too. Squeeze Box.
Yeah, Squeezebox, such a great song.
Yeah.
But the reason it took them 3 years is like Keith and Pete were wallowing in drug addiction and
Right.
alcoholism. Roger had to have throat surgery
Yeah.
in between, so it took a long time to make this record.
Man.
And I guess they were trying to tell Keith, like, you got to simplify your drumming on this record.
That
You gotta
was
simplify it down. And there's a track he couldn't even play on because he couldn't get the timing right.
right.
His playing had degenerated so much
Yeah.
from what he was.
I remember reading Glenn Johns talking about actually feeling bad about putting so much pressure on Keith Moon to play simpler.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just
I read that same thing.
wasn't in his makeup.
Right.
Right. Two singles, "Who Are You," of course, and "Trick of the Light."
Yes.
Oh, such a good song. This thing starts off with new song, and we got some keyboards and different things going on now with the Who. Um,
Yeah. The production is very 1978, I gotta
yes,
say.
yes. Now, let me say, when I say keyboards, they've always had Nicky Hopkins, I think, back there playing with them. But I think
This is
they're
a little
using
more synth driven though.
synthesizers. That was the key there. Yeah. Had Enough, 905. I love that tune. I love that one. Sister Disco.
Yep.
I mean, 1978, this was the perfect song.
That wasn't even a
Nope.
single, I don't think, but it got plenty
Nope.
of airplay.
Yeah. Yeah. And The Music Must Change, or Music Must Change is the actual title. Great way. First side one. Fantastic.
Yeah. Interestingly, you got 1, 2, new song, Sister Disco, Music Must Change, Guitar and Pen.
Mm-hmm.
These are all songs about writing songs.
Songs about writing songs. Yes.
right? And the struggle of writing songs.
Right.
I
The
thought,
pe-
like, wow, he's kind of stuck on a subject right
yeah.
here.
Right. You're not too far off there. Um, the sad part about this record, of course, is not long after it's released, Keith Moon passes away.
3 months.
Something like that. Yeah. And we're talking another alcohol induced problem.
Yeah.
Um, Watching those old interviews and things with him on either Johnny Carson or Mike Douglas show or all the different shows that Keith Moon would be on, you could just see him plastered out of his mind, but happy
Yeah.
on the outside.
Do you feel like, because this is kind of always I always felt like Keith had the pressure of being Keith,
Right.
that people expected him to be, high and out of control,
Well, from the first
right?
time he
To
destroyed
be
his
the
drum
wild
sets.
man, right?
Yeah, that is something that's not easy to live up to 24/7.
Right.
I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So another interesting thing,
Mhm.
talking about the album being released. So he's sitting on a chair that's backwards,
Right.
and on the back of the chair it says "Do not remove."
Right.
Right. And the guy who shot the album cover insisted that Keith turn the chair backwards, not because of the words,
Right.
but because Keith was so out of shape. His stomach was distended from the alcoholism and everything
He's so
else.
bloated. Yeah.
Yeah, he said we need to kind of
Cover it up.
cover it up,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Which thinking about it now is just sad, right? Like
Very sad.
what he really needed was an intervention.
Yeah. No such thing in 1978 for rock
Yeah,
stars.
not really, not much.
Two ways out. You clean yourself up or you go the other direction.
Yeah, they hadn't really discovered the whole Betty Ford Clinic thing.
I don't think so.
At that point.
Yeah. That's sad. But let's talk about 1971 and Who's Next.
Oh my gosh,
Now,
what a
have you?
monster.
Yeah, this is a record that, again, probably all but one or two songs right off the bat.
Correct.
I'm not a. I now. Let's jump into My Wife. Well, let's not, but let's talk about My Wife.
Okay.
The song.
Must we?
Must. This is a John Entwistle tune.
Yeah, this album we covered on The Conspiracy, and I don't think anybody gave that a thumbs up.
No,
on that song.
I love Entwistle's voice, and I love, of course, his bass playing. But
yes,
some of this lyrical content was just way out there.
Yeah,
This was his only, claim to fame on this record, right? And so
yeah, I think so. It was, I think that was his only song.
yeah, the record itself was 3 times platinum. It in the United States. It sold fairly well for 1971 standards.
Right.
I'm sure over time it's sold a lot more because Bob O'Reilly and Won't Get Fooled Again has played everywhere, and I don't think you can go to a ball game or watch a television show or a commercial where you don't hear some Who music, and it's usually off of Who's Next.
Sure.
Another Glyn Johns produced record. The singles were Won't Get Fooled Again, Bob O'Reilly, and Behind Blue Eyes. And
right,
we were talking a little bit about this. This was after the Lifehouse project, and Tommy was 1969.
Just ahead of this.
Yeah, this came out in 71. Now this is almost 50 minutes of music, 49 something. Some of these tunes, they have that Tommy vibe to them, in my opinion. Not the Bob O'Reilly or the or Won't Get Fooled Again, but some of the other tunes, the way they're constructed, are almost like, could these be Tommy leftovers?
Oh, Interesting thought. I mean, Behind Blue Eyes, maybe.
You never know. Yeah. Because that whole thing, Tommy was deaf, dumb, and blind. So um I'm looking at the side one, Bob O'Reilly, Bargain. What a cool song is
Mhm.
that, right? Um Love Ain't for Keeping. It's okay. My Wife, that's the lull,
Yeah.
right? And this song is over to end side one. When you
So Bob O'Reilly, Bargain,
Yep.
Love Ain't for Keeping, all of those got a crazy amount of airplay
Yes. Yes, they did.
back in the day.
Right. And then look at jumping to side two, Getting in Tune, Going Mobile.
Going Mobile, another
Oh,
big airplay song.
gosh, yeah. Behind Blue Eyes,
Another big airplay song.
Won't Get Fooled Again.
Another airplay song.
Right. So
I mean, well more than half of this record was in pretty heavy rotation on rock radio.
yeah. Yeah.
And I loved every minute of it.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. As much as I love Who Are You and that record and the way it's produced and the whole bit and so many great songs, the timeless classics are on Who's Next.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question since you're talking about the production.
Mhm.
One thing that kind of stuck out to me on Who Are You, the guitars don't seem to bite.
No, there's
To
more
me,
of a twang almost to them. And it's not, he does, there are a few of the power chords here and there, but not as much.
the guitar feels subdued to me in a
Yeah.
way. And it's kind of in the tone. I mean, it's still Pete playing.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just doesn't have that same energy.
Right. I think that's the key. Is the energy is different by far. Well, let's get down to nitty gritty.
Oh,
You only get to keep one. Who's
well,
next?
easy choice for me. Yeah, who's next?
Okay.
That's a knockout decision, man.
I think so. I love Who Are You? I've got the picture disc, I've got the LP. But I mean, Who's Next is just chock full of great tunes. Who Are
Some
You?
of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that I love on Who Are You?
Right.
That Who's Next just kind of takes the cake.
I'm there with you. It's a knockout. What about our listeners? What are you thinking? Who's
Yeah.
next? Who are you?
Leave a comment.
Please let us know.
Hey, smash the like button.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Not going to hurt you. It's
It's
free.
just in case. And we keep getting these copyright strikes because I like to put the music in the videos.
Yeah.
Record companies, not the bands, the record companies sell out to ads and get money. And then the algorithm hears our music on our video that's of these bands and they want to strike us down.
Damn the man.
Hey, we're doing this for entertainment, educational purposes only. We're not making any money.
Right.
We're just having fun.
It's just commentary.
Yeah. Damn the man is right.
All right. See you next week.
Next week. All right.